Okay. Hey everyone, we're back with WBC LA Presents. Finally back after the pandemic, and we're honored. Our first guest is Danny Roman, who is actually the mandatory right now for the super bantamweight division. Former champion. You obviously you want your belt back, your WBA, but you also have been wanting that green and gold for a long time. Yes. So we have Danny Roman, who just fought a week ago at Dignity Health Sports Park, and we have Eddie Gonzalez, his manager and trainer.
Yes.
And trainer. And back here we have Pepe Sulaiman hiding behind the camera.
Here behind the cameras.
Who will be uploading this interview on YouTube so everyone can watch. And live, you guys can ask us any questions you want. And we will be asking Danny. How are you, Danny? How are you after your fight?
I'm doing pretty good. It's the first interview after my fight. I took a week off, trying to recover, trying to get myself back together. But I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be here.
And that fight, I mean, I'm not the only one. I saw posts from Robert Garcia, the fans, Pepe himself, who was there. There was a lot of fights. There was championship fights. But how do you feel when you hear that was the best fight of the night?
Oh, it makes me proud. You know, all the hard work I've been putting on is showing, and people are noticing Danny Roman. So, and people giving me credit. Even great trainers, even great fighters as well. So that motivates me even more to keep on doing better and show the people that I can even do more myself.
And you fought through the pandemic. You fought two times, right?
Yes.
How was it? How was it fighting through bubbles? Was it any different? Did you as far as training and the gym, the fight week, did you have any trouble?
For the first fight back in September, it was kind of difficult to find some sparrings. Most of the gyms were closed. We were training at a private gym in Bell Gardens, fundamentals, and we struggled to find some sparring, especially left-handed. That was against Payano, but this training camp, it was great. Everything seems to be getting back to normal little by little. We even have fans attending the fight. I had family members, friends, and they were supporting me, and that motivates you even more. You know, the adrenaline they transmit it to you.
And that fight was for the mandatory challenger for the WBC World Super Bantamweight title, which you were already WBA champion. You want that green and gold belt, and that deadline is coming up in September for you to fight. And then the champion fights Figueroa and loses his title. You know, how did that feel?
Well, I hope I'm still the mandatory for to fight the WBC, which is now Figueroa. I always wanted that belt too, even as a kid, the green and gold. I mean, everybody wants it as well, and I want it too. So hopefully we can make this fight before the deadline. I know they got plans, but you know what? I won the mandatory back in September, so I believe I deserve it. I mean, I always loved it. Even as a kid, I felt I got a gift for it. I know I was a unified champion last year, and I still believe I could achieve more. So every fight I take is a step closer to achieving, which is being the undisputed champion. So I thank all my fans that support me. Little by little, people are getting to know Danny Roman, and especially after this performance last fight, people got to see my talent, and I still got more to show.
Danny fighting the IBF champion that night. What else could we ask for? You know, Danny performed to the top of his game, just like he did last Friday. Mm-hmm. And like Danny said, you know, he's still got a lot more to give. Right now, everybody's talking about Fulton. They're talking about Figueroa. When everybody knows that Danny is really the king at 122. That's how I feel, and I strongly believe that. And we need to see where Figueroa and Fulton are going to end up in this upcoming fight. But you mentioned earlier that Danny is the mandatory for the WBC. I'm really hoping that the WBC mandates the fight, or they can vacate the title so Danny can actually contest for that title against the other number one on the WBC. He's done everything right. I think Danny will represent the WBC like nobody else will. You know, he's like you say, he's a really nice kid. He's well comported, and I think the WBC would be very proud of having Danny represent him as one of the ambassadors in boxing.
Back in 2017, September, It was against the current champion at that time. It was Sean Kubo. The first time going out of the country all the way to Japan. I was excited. Yeah, we had some difficulty at the beginning, but overall, my mind was set to perform and win, to become a world champion. So whatever happened on the side, I just pushed it aside and kept my eyes on the goal.
How do you do that?
I mean, don't try to let anything bother you. Just stay focused. Just see what's in front of you, and then that time my focus was on the champion. Beating the champion and becoming a champion. So I didn't mind anything else, and thank God everything went good. I stopped Sean Kubo, I believe, in the ninth round.
Ninth round.
I gained a lot of Japanese fans that night. Great experience, and I'm still getting more Japanese fans. They still show support and love, and I'm thankful for that. I mean, by the end of the day, I believe it all depends on you, how bad you want it. I mean, I just heard it from you that this new technology that help you keep focus or all this stuff to help you out. I mean, you could do that, but if your mind and your heart's somewhere else, it's going to be hard for you to stay focused. So it all depends on the person, how bad you want it at the end of the day.
Yeah, because boxing before was just going to the gym, running, the heavy bag, speed bag, sparring, and that's it, and jumping rope.
No strength and conditioning.
Nothing of that, nothing. And the nutrition was based on very, normal people knowledge about calories. But today there's like a big science behind everything related to training and the preparation of the athlete.
Pepe, that might be just might be psychology for fighters. But like Danny said, Danny's a really focused individual, very disciplined. And I think that's what gives him that focus. Because, I've been around Danny forever. And ever since he was a little kid, he's been that type of individual. He wants something, he goes after it. And he demands the same thing from me, to be focused at all times. And I'm in the same I'm in the same pedestal as Danny because I like to stay focused. His goals are my goals, and his goals are my goals. And we want to make sure that's why we work together so well, because everything that we do together, and we try 100% to do the best that we can. So when Danny gets up in the ring, he comes out healthy, and that's the only way he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Family or
The humble was my parents. They taught me to be humble, and life too. So I do this because I love the sport, and every day that I go to the gym, I enjoy it because it's something I love. So if you do something you love, you're gonna enjoy it every day. And
Well said.
and being humble, it's just part of me. It's just the way I am. I'm being like 100% true, so the whole time. So it's just me.
when did you fall in love with boxing?
At the beginning, when I started boxing, I had no idea about boxing. Like every other kid, you hate it. But once I started doing it, I started winning. Started seeing that I was good for the sport, and I started liking. I realized, and I told myself, you know what? I think boxing's for me. I'm actually pretty good for it, and I love doing it. I was maybe around 12 or 13.
What gym?
I started in Hoover Street gym. Mm-hmm. Then I moved to Broadway, and then I've been through different gyms. Maywood. Now I'm in Fundamentals 19 in Bell Gardens. So I started in Hoover Street gym.
What was your record as an amateur?
It was 60 and 10 losses.
60 and 10 losses.
Yes.
And how was it? How was it competing as an amateur, like for your family and you? Was it difficult, or or was it just easy for you to do it?
How it was scored back then, it was like with points. And I wasn't a fast fighter. I was mostly just going forward and fight. And I was in speed. So I had to work harder. That didn't bring me down. I was like, you know what? Well, if I can't beat him in speed, I guess I got to knock him out. And then that's what I did, and it worked. But with the family, my mom, especially my mom, She never liked us getting hit. So, but she got used to it. She's used to it now. I mean, she knows it's something I like, so she supports me. I gotta be an example too, you know. Like every action I do, everybody's gonna see it, and so I try to give a good example to everyone that knows me, and it's been a lifestyle too. So
Well,
Okay. Yes.
I think it's really important. I think the corner got a lot to do with it. I mean, because I'm just seeing what's in front of me. You don't see the whole picture, and that's what the corner comes in. I mean, even yourself, you could probably slow down, or the round could be a close round, and that's when your corner lets you know, say, you know what, pick it up a little bit more, or pick up the hand. Every time you throw a combination, or every time you pressure this guy, he does this. So the corner has a lot to do with it. Even myself during the fight, I know something might not work, so I got to make the adjustment, and that's where the corner comes in too. If they see me make some mistakes, and be like, you know what, Danny, do this, and that. So that's where you start making the adjustments.
for this fight, the day before and the day of the fight, because Danny and I, we talk a lot. Well, we were in the hotel. I walked into his room and we discuss certain things. And you know, one of the things that Danny tells me, Eddie, whatever happens, please lead me through the fight. Make sure if I'm making mistakes, you correct my mistakes. Make sure that you see the opposition's deficits, so I can, you know, gain from that. And I pay a lot of attention to that. I studied the fighter way before we even jump into the ring. And you know, we were talking about this earlier, that a lot of people think that Danny's a slow starter in the fight. Well, Danny's not a slow starter. Okay, Danny has a high IQ for the game, so he's going to go through first and second round, and he's going to allow his opponent to come in and display his weaknesses and his strengths.
So, Doheny, when I unify here in Inglewood, because TJ Doheny, he's been the toughest fight of my career so far.
What about the toughest punch that you might have seen little stars and stuff?
Matsumoto?
Yeah, I will have to say my first defense in Japan.
Yeah.
After I won the world title, Real Matsumoto, I got hit hard.
You got hit hard? You saw
Yes.
little stars?
I did, a few times.
Really? I mean, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you about Saturday, the day of the quinceañera. I started getting all my stuff ready so I could leave to the hotel.
Yeah.
So I got it ready with time. After that, try to rest as much as I can. I did the morning workout, which was I went for a run, came back, got my stuff ready, rested up, got up, read a book, and then after that, I'll eat something, read the Bible, meditated, and that's my day. Just rest and read.
And Danny, how about the power? Are you born with it, or you work? You develop it?
I think with the power, one is born with it. I mean, you could like modify it, you could work at it, so like you increase a little bit more. But like if you got power, you got power.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you better get very technical.
Yeah. and do coaches have special exercises to develop power when they don't have it?
I believe the only way that you can gain power is, you know, we talked about strength and conditioning, all this. Yeah, sure, that helps you out a lot. But if you're using proper weight distribution, and I think that's where the power comes from. And what I mean by weight distribution, meaning moving your body well-centered, balanced. Because everything in the universe is balanced, right? The same thing with the boxer. If you lean forward and you throw in a punch, you're going against gravity, right? But if you stay in the center and you throw a punch and it's evenly distributed, then you have the power there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What happened in this year and 2 or 3 months that we've had of lockdown? How did you keep up your body, your training? What happened throughout this year? Because a lot of fighters suffered from not being able to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, first of all, I was working out at home. I try to do as much as I can. I went for runs. I mean, it's not the same like the gym, because in the gym you got the bags, you got the ring, but like mostly it all depends on you. You know, like by the end of the day, if you're not watching what you're eating, your diet, being focused, what's your goal, the discipline. I mean, you know, you got to wake up every day in the morning and go run. I mean, even myself, I have those days that I don't even want to wake up, but I know I got to sacrifice to get to where I want to be. And even if I got to go against myself, you know, which is, I think everybody does that, because nobody wants to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and go run. I mean, you could do little workouts at home, but like it all depends on the diet. That's the main one. And make sure you run as well too. Well, it was disappointing. I mean, because I'm used to being in the gym. So once you get a news like that, I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen now? And well, I was lucky to be one of the fighters to fight when the pandemic was going on, like strict, back in September. So I was one of the lucky ones to end up fighting before the year ended. So I'm thankful for that. But like, it's never a good news every time they tell you can't go to the gym.
So now, Danny, all these kids, they want to go back. They haven't fought. They're at probably different weight divisions. They're older. What is something that you would tell these amateurs to stay in the gym or to go back to the gym? Because a lot of these kids didn't. They took the pandemic and just dropped it. Some motivating words for them.
I mean, you remember your goal. Remember what you're fighting for. Remember before this pandemic, everything that you wanted. You gotta keep everything's starting opening back again. Everything seems to be getting back to normal. So, hey, there's nothing to hold you back anymore. Let's go. Let's do it. Don't leave anything behind, because you're gonna regret it later on. Start back again, little by little. I know the first 2 weeks is gonna be hell, but I believe you guys can do it. I mean, we were the best in Southern California and the amateurs, so we gotta get back on top. You can't give up now. So everything's going back to normal, and let's go. Hey, get up.